What's up? Hope everyone's having a good day and is ready for another video in the series we like to call Underrated Throwers. Today we got a very special one and one of my favorite hammer throwers ever, Krisztian Pars. As you can see by the title, 8269, which I think is his PR. He's the 2012 Olympic Champion, a two-time silver medalist at Worlds, I think a couple-time European Champion, and one of the greatest hammer throwers ever, one of the most consistent as well. Competed in one of the hardest eras ever against people like Koji, Ivan Tikon, Vadim Debiutowski, Prismos Cosmos, Pavel Fastek, who he beat here, and just a couple others that are really good. Szymon Ziolkowski is another one. Just a whole plethora of just 80-meter plus throwers, and he competed in a crazy Olympics in 2012, which is in all the throwing events, one of the most exciting Olympics in my opinion to watch in the throwing events, because every comp was pretty close to each other. So yeah, and I think he's just very underrated because I feel like a lot of people just don't even I feel like a lot of new people even don't even know who he is, and he kind of went under the radar because he just competed in such a goated era of hammer throwing that, it's hard to put him over a lot of the people that he competed against because they're just crazy throwers. But I wanted to give him some love today because I feel like he's extremely underrated in his technique, because I feel like he does a lot of things well and pretty uniquely, actually. If anything, he kind of throws like Cameron Rogers in many ways, who you don't know, which you should know because she's the defending world champion from Canada. I think a 78-meter hammer thrower for women. Just crazy. Who I actually got to see in person throw her first PR of the season last year at Mount Sac Relays. But enough about her, because we're not here to talk about her, because if she's underrated, then I don't know what to tell people. That would be crazy. But he doesn't. It's weird because he throws the hammer like a man, but doesn't. And let me explain. Because he's very manly. Of course, he's from Hungary. In case I didn't say that, or you just didn't read this. But yeah, as you can see by this series, a very consistent thrower. This throw right here is his third throw over 81 meters. So that right there already tells you he's very consistent. And even in this comp, which I think was 2014, he was old because he was competing in world championships since 2005, I think. Just crazy. I forget if he competed in a world champs before 2005. But yeah, he's old here. So, older. This actually might have been one of his last years of competing, if I'm not mistaken. Again, like all my videos, I'll link his personal best, his height and weight, and his notable accomplishments in the video description. So, he's right here. So, we'll get into his technique. So, let me back this up. Really nice wind. So, he does a really big step-in. I personally like the step-in if you can get away with it. One, because it looks cool. And, looking cool is probably half the throw. That's why Ryan Krauser is the world record holder, because he's just dripped out of his mind. So, that's your elite tip for the day. But on a serious note, I also like the step-in because it establishes rhythm and connection with the hammer. And two, because it makes you feel your legs a little bit more and establishes hip momentum at the start, and lets you feel you catch the hammer back a little further on the winds. All right, but this is more of an advanced kind of thing. So when you're just starting out throwing hammer, just start with your legs already like this, just planted. And another thing you'll notice is that a lot of hammer throwers, start here at the back, he's super offset, and this is very characteristic. Like whenever I see someone if I saw a silhouette like this, and he has like a very noticeable different technique than a lot of guys throw like, and you'll see. Actually, you'll see right now. 'Cause I will play this fast motion. The video's kind of weird. I don't know why it's all glitchy like that. So you can see the similarities. A lot of throwers, especially at this time, really like to have a high right foot. And a little more of a counter. Not saying he doesn't have a counter, but it's kind of, he doesn't really throw it that much of a counter compared to a lot of other 80-meter hammer throwers. And I just find it very interesting. And you know, Hungary, if you don't know already, is one of the greatest hammer throwing countries ever. You know, just produces 80-meter plus hammer throwers at the wazoo, which is also why I think he's underrated too. You know, because he was competing against like Adrian Anos and Igor and just Igor is Belarusian. But there's a whole bunch of just, like Balas Kiss and a whole bunch of just 80-meter legends in the sport. So, and he's also one of the only few hammer throwers from Hungary to not be popped. So, you know, that right there is also very underrated. So, especially in the area he competed against, where a lot of those kind of countries in that region were getting popped left and right, like Belarus. So, yeah, that's also another extremely underrated fact. So, he goes here, really nice, establishing connection. Really nice patience. You see how he doesn't move his foot until the ball passes him by 0. Really nice connection. Right foot picks up right there, which is good because for him, because he's so offset, this is 90 for him instead of here because he's so offset. And he's right here. Beautiful turn. Really nice turn. A little high. Actually, no, it's actually pretty flat. Really nice. Boom. Good connection. Catches it pretty deep, which I like. And then from here, he's not turning. You don't want to turn the right foot with the hammer. So some coaches like that, some coaches don't. I tend to like I tend to like to coach you like feeling yourself like walking backwards, because that one establishes a very good counter, and 2, it really accelerates the hammer. When you think of like a bar twist and you just go like up and down, and when you go like the down and just sit, it just accelerates really crazy. And that's what you want to feel in hammer, kind of like a pendulum. Well, not kind of. You want to feel a pendulum in hammer. But, you know, people throw far with both techniques. I just feel like this kind of style is a little more consistent and really makes you move the ball faster. Because when you tend to throw with your right leg, when you tend to use your legs to think about rotating, I feel like 1, it tends to slow you down, and 2, it leads for you to turn faster than the hammer. So, and you don't want that. You want the hammer to be moving way faster than you. Like, you know, so you can't even see the hammer right now, but you can see him. Well, obviously you can see him. But I mean, even from like his first turn was the last turn, you could see even the hammer. So that just lets you know how quickly he's moving the hammer. All right, so he gets here. Oh, sorry, I lost track of turns. So that's 1. This is 2. And you see, he's not really raising his right foot that much, which I really like. I don't like normally, and it's also a personal preference thing. Normally, I like to teach like beginners and just everyone in general, because I think it leads to better catches, to not have your right foot go above your left knee when you turn. And when you pick up your right foot, just because like this right here, if you just do that, it just leads you to way better catches. Whereas if you kind of do like a little piston and kind of just go up and down, it leads you to a lot later catches and you lose connection with the hammer. And Krisztian Pars has amazing connection. He never loses tension with the hammer, nor does really any 80-meter thrower. So, but the hammer's always under tension, always, and that's what you want to feel. All right. So, great setback. And you see it right here, how the second he catches, he's sitting back. That's what you want to feel. And you notice, like, yeah, his right foot does turn, but it turns after the hammer passes 0 because the hammer is moving that. All right? And then he pushes against the ground, which I don't mind. But the really important thing is you don't want to turn this right foot. Well, you shouldn't even think about turning the right foot. It should just turn because you just have to, because you're just staying grounded, because the hammer's turning you. But if you are gonna turn it, like if you have a coach that likes you turning your right foot, you just gotta be careful that you don't turn it. You don't turn it until your hammer passes 0, and then you can start turning it, and then that's fine, like he does. All right, so beautiful here. Great counter. And you notice how, if you notice any elite hammer thrower, they don't really they only move up and down, kind of. I shouldn't even say up, really, because you never want to really go up with your body. You know, the high point in hammer is caused by you countering and your body sitting back against the hammer. And that's what creates that, not the up and down of the legs. Because if you go up and extend your left knee, you're done. You lost counter, and it will just pull you forward, and you'll probably fall. Or you just won't throw far. So you always want to keep your knees bent, both knees bent at all times. They never extend. All right, except at the finish. But really, only your left knee extends a little. But that's just a product of, just throwing the hammer correctly. You don't want to think about jumping, although some people do. But I tend to not like that at all. And normally you don't see any far thrower ever jump. Even Adrian Anos looks like he jumps, but he really doesn't. He kind of just reverses a little. It's weird. I don't know how Adrian Anos does that. But, so he gets here, really nice. Here, right here, boom, catches it a little later. But when you're going this fast, it doesn't really matter because, yeah, this is a late catch, but he already has supreme connection to the hammer and just lets it go. It just kind of changes his orbit a little. So he kind of releases over here instead of dead on like he was. But you see a lot of really far hammer throwers tend to throw far either in this sector or here. Really never over here unless they're left-handed. But yeah, just really, really nice. And yeah, so the reason why I feel like his technique is very unique is because it doesn't look very separated, even though he is when you slow it down. And two, you normally see men counter a lot more than this, which just, I think, proves how strong he is and how much of an athlete and absolute monster he is. He is countering a lot because, you do have to counter a bunch. But, normally, normally an 80-meter throw is way further back than this. So I think it's just a testament to how much of a crazy specimen of an athlete he is. So yeah, that's really it. I'll play this one more time. Regular motion, just boom, 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 boom. And yeah, I don't know if I would recommend him as a technical model. I think he's a good technical model for people that don't throw really far. Like beginners, just because it's really just basic technique. And I guess, I guess it all depends. I shouldn't even say that. Because, you got to find a technical model that works for you. Because I don't think he's that tall, actually. I think he's around, like, maybe 6 foot. I forget. I'll link that in the video description. But, yeah, hope you guys learned something about Krisztian Pars here. If you want to know more about him, just look him up on YouTube. Because he's one of the best hammer throwers ever. So, yeah, I just felt he was underrated. So, yeah, hope everyone has a good day, and see y'all later.